It's hard to talk negatively about Toyota because they really do make some of the best cars that you can buy. But they really like to talk utter BS, I think, sometimes, and quite often it would seem. The news from Toyota that came out last week is that they yet again claim to have figured out the recipe for a fantastic solid state battery, which is not really true. This isn't the first time they've said this, so let's give some context and then explain what's going on nearer to the end. So in 2009 and 2017 and 2020 and now 2023, they made the claim that their new solid state batteries are literally just around the corner. It's like a big breakthrough, it's a big thing, and they will be in their electric vehicles in a couple of years or so, which seems a bit lofty, I think, at this point. And a year or two ago, they formalised an agreement with BYD to supply their batteries and motors for Toyota vehicles. So the 1,000 EVs only made up 0.19% of their total sales. So they definitely have a plan with what they're saying about this stuff and having batteries that are better than anybody else's on the planet. Thanks for joining me. It's really nice to see so many people subscribing to the channel. I'm Ben Alexander and I talk about the latest EV news around the world. And I make videos every single day, so stick around until the end. And then if you would let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. Please remember, if you're enjoying the video, please click the like button for me, which helps the channel. Toyota's top line message on climate policy is that they say they approve of carbon neutrality, which is a pretty standard business facade, and Toyota has consistently stated support for the Paris Agreement, including in its 2022 Climate Public Policies report, which is a big deal. So they definitely decided that they want to be seen saying all the right things publicly. Though Toyota have said very publicly they don't approve of a swift and total electrification of the world's vehicles, so they can see the benefit of looking like they're adopting the idea, or even looking like they're leading the pack, so to speak. So if they are seen to say these things, it gets media attention, and that's what they want. But what is very evident these days is that they have not been leading the way, and certainly not been behind battery electric vehicles. So this is why the shareholders for Toyota held a meeting to express their concern about this, because they have a lot of their money tied up in Toyota. They engineer their vehicles to last the test of time. They engineer them to be repaired more often than not, fairly easily. They're consistently in the top 3 for the world's most reliable vehicles, and literally every day I see Toyotas from the 1990s on the roads near where I live here in Brisbane, which is brilliant. I think that should be the standard for a lot of companies. They should aim for that, They should aim for their cars to last 20 odd years. Their latest claim is that they are almost about to sell you some Toyotas with battery tech that is so far above anything that we have today, and they say the new battery can weigh half as much, travel well over twice as far, and charge in less than 10 minutes. What they don't say is that they don't really want to sell you many EVs at this point, hence why the most sold car manufacturer in the world only sold EVs last year out of 10.48 million vehicles they sold. Not many at all. So it's really just the marketing department earning their keep, I think, when they say this stuff about hydrogen sometimes, or having these amazing EV batteries that can cover the circumference of the Earth with just 10 minutes of charging. So we're now seeing Legacy Auto coming onto this scene very, very slowly. And I think for me, this year, one of the most exciting things that happened is Suzuki. Suzuki recently announced a new car in January, and I'll put a link in the description to my video on that. It looks like it's going to be a really fantastic car, and one of my favourites, I think, on the market when it does come out in a year or two. We don't really know, but I think they said 2025. It was spotted recently charging at a European charger too, so this is really good. Toyota have made a couple of EVs, but they don't really sell them Honda also made the Honda E, but they don't really sell electric cars. And also Honda did suggest that their vehicles in the future will have some sort of some subscription setup on their future EVs because they want to take more money from you, basically. So that's not looking great. What they did say is they didn't want to sell cars and then drive out of the showroom and then only make a bit of money from parts afterwards. They want to be able to, in some way, have some sort of monthly income from the cars. So there's a bit of money grabbing going on, a little bit. I don't really support that sort of decision, but of course, maybe some people will still go out and buy a Honda. They'll think it's fine. So what it looks like is happening is that Legacy Auto is becoming maybe a little bit like Apple. This might not be the best comparison, but they produce great cars, but lean way too much on their brand reputation and other competitors. For example, Xiaomi can sneak in and offer way better phones for half the price of Apple phones. And so now we see that most people have Android phones in the world, not Apple phones. 71.63% of the world's phones are Android-based phones. There was a time when Apple was the go-to brand for the majority. So you can buy a new Apple iPhone for something like 1,900 or so Australian dollars, or go and get a Xiaomi that, fair enough, isn't a part of the Apple ecosystem, but other than that, you can pay $400 or $500 and get a way better phone, specs-wise, and you could literally buy 3 or 4 of those phones for the same price of an Apple iPhone. I understand that many people want to be a part of the Apple ecosystem with their phone, so it's kind of worth it to them. I kind of get that. I really do appreciate that. So it's not crazy to me, but if you're just talking about the tech, it's not a very good deal. Thanks to the people that have joined on Buy Me a Coffee or Patreon or YouTube memberships. Links to these will be in the description below. The easiest and cheapest way to help is actually just by clicking the like button for me. Supporting in any of these ways, though, helps me do this every single day. And I think YouTube memberships is only about $3 a month. So remember to subscribe for my daily videos about EV news from around the world.